What's up, y'all? It's Chris. I'm back with another reaction video. This time it is when Miles buyed the entire Spider Society to save his dad. This video is actually done by Casper, so he got his edits on it. As always, when I do a video like this, I'll link the original video in the description below. So make sure that when you like and subscribe to me, you also like and subscribe to Casper. And then in the comments, just let me know what you thought about the video. If there's anything else that I need to do like this. But without further ado, let's get right into it.
Of with Miles in the spot seemingly having the same visions, and Miles was like, what was that? Our future. And he vows to take everything from him. This vid ain't even about the spot, but my son went from villain of the week to a real threat. Got my son Miles out here shook. This must be how them predators felt since they updated the patch notes. Now these wannabe Chris Hansen's running around beating the shit out of them. So they do the only thing Falcon could do last video and run away. Meanwhile, the entire building is collapsing because the spot basically nuked that hole. So Miles told them,
we'll clear the path. You slow down that building.
And you see how they listening to him? He clearly was meant to be Spider-Man. I do not care. So they get to moving, saving a bunch of civilians from becoming like the MCU civilians. A bunch of KD boosters. But the building is raw wave pounds, meaning it's too big to hold up. So their web snap, causing the building to slide down. But meanwhile, Miles is still doing his Spider-Man duties. Running through this building to save these people from becoming like Obito, a rock victim. To Pavitra, and I know I butchered.
Why brought Obito into this? Nigga, okay, that's, hey, listen, I'm gonna say it like this. Obviously, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but I absolutely love Miles Morales. I know he's a newer version of Spider-Man. I think he was originally, the concept was in what, early 2000s or something like that, is when Miles came out. But it's kind of a tribute to Stan Lee. Like, one of his sayings was like, anybody could wear the mask. Like, when he created Spider-Man, like, anybody can wear the mask. Even Miles says that in the first movie. He's like, you can wear the mask, anybody. And I love that. And honestly, I love the representation, if I'm being honest. Like, it's nice to see a superhero of this caliber, you know, like, being on this stage. In the MCU, obviously, this isn't part of the MCU. Actually, I don't know. Maybe it is officially, or will be. I don't know. But we got like Falcon, Rhodey, T'Challa the GOAT, of course. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. But I love the way that they take Miles Morales. It's like, and it's something, he's a kid, so like other kids can look up to.
The hell out of that name. Must have been around Floyd Mayweather for too long. And he's out here saving civilians with a damn yo-yo. He out here putting the Avengers to shame with this Neolithic ass weapon. So inspirational. And then he grabs Miles' hand, and while they fall, and drops the civilians on the top of a building and get right back to that action. Like Fly reacts in a basketball. This is not a combo I expected to see, but they cooking right now. And then we get this clean scene with Gwen, Pavitra, Miles, and Hogan.
This shit means something to me, man.
And then they spawn to the ground, still saving people from being the opposite of an earthbender. So a bus is falling into a hole being made into the ground, and Pavitra sees his love interest. The MJ to his Peter, the Miles to his Gwen, the Twitch streamers to grooming. So that means he really likes her. So he webs in, shoots a web, and catches them from falling. And let's take a second and look at my son's suit. He the only one that can pull off the cut out the hair suit. Insomniac tried that shit with Miles Morales, and video game devs need to retire that Killmonger haircut expeditiously. No black person with 2 working brain cells is rocking that. Meanwhile, after Gwen saves these 2 civilians,
I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna try to rock that shit for a minute. Like, when I saw, you know, Black Panther, Killmonger, I was like, you know, I could probably pull that shit off. I never actually did it, and I'm glad I didn't, but I was about to.
Lila tells her that the markers are predicting an incoming canon event, so she starts moving like every Jake Paul opponent, throwing a fight. Shorty was out here acting like she was really trying to save the inspector. Pavitra calls out to the inspector, but he preoccupied holding up a damn bus. Meanwhile, Miles is up on top, and his spider senses started tinkling, so he tries to jump off, but this gonna grab him. And this is where he should have known that this was trying to set him up.
Yo, I'm gonna say it like this. The way that they portray Gwen Stacy in these 2 movies, I got a hot take on this. She's Sakura level to me. Like, when it comes to some of this shit, I get Sakura vibes, man. Like, you know how she was using Naruto to kind of get her way with Sasuke and all that stuff. Like, and then there's that moment in the show where she's like, you know, I love you, Naruto. I wish Naruto would have slapped her ass. Now, I'm not saying that Gwen Stacy is on that level, but in some of these scenes, man, she's sus.
Up, Miles thinking so innocently that she's just worried about him. Tells her that he'll be fine. You don't gotta worry about me, baby girl. Later I'll show you what other places I can shoot these webs from. And then jumps off while she's reaching out like a damn 90s singer. I know Miguel was watching that replay sick, thinking to himself, this bitch ain't even try to stop him. So Miles runs in, grab him and the girl and puts him on his shoulders and starts running away. But he gotta be quicker than that. Trying to run and dodge, but eventually rubble falls on all of them. Gwen and Hobie jump down and she goes to find them and helps Miles. And she sees that Miles saved the little girl, but it pans over to the right and the inspector pops up and I just know she was like,
shit, the fuck.
Who kid is
so
this?
Vitra and Hobie saved the bus, and my son wasted no time instantly running over to her. Started raising up Gaitari, who is of course the inspector's daughter. And then we cut over to Gwen and she gets a notification that the canon event was disrupted. And I'm sure a lot of y'all done been through some canon events in your life. You probably got cheated on, with the jail, did crack. Hey, I'm not here to judge. But for those who don't know what a canon event...
Who? All right, listen, no judgment, man, for real, like he said. But if that's your canon event, then I don't know, bro. I might want to let it go.
Event is, it's an important event in your life that shapes who you are and what you become. So for Spider-Man, this is like Uncle Ben dying, or in Miles' case, Uncle Aaron. So Miles asked her what she thinks and she was like,
what I always think. You're amazing.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker.
That's the shit I'm talking about. That shit. Come on, Gwen.
Don't miss, man.
but this is where things take a dark turn, because everything around them starts glitching and the Spider Society comes to fix and contain the black hole. And this is where Jessica invites all of them to Spider Society, but that shit was no invite. So we skip to Spider Society and Miguel is above him trying his hardest to be vicious. Meanwhile down there, Miles is looking at Gwen because the lift is slower than Floyd Mayweather and Antonio Brown at a spelling bee. But Miles tries.
All right, we already had one Mayweather reference, and we get an Antonio Brown reference. Man, that's diabolical, bro. Like, leave them two niggas alone, man.
was bonding with him over the fact that they're both mixed with Latino. Shit was probably sounding like a Logic interview.
You're biracial. It's biracial rapper. In black and white, biracial, white, black and white, biracial, a black father and a white mother.
His ass be holding on to that 0.25% for dear life. Let it go. Miles tells him that he has a few ideas to catch the spot, and that Irish side really starts to come out because he throws the tamale my son brought him at his head and tells him that he put a hole in a multiverse and was talking to Gwen like,
there is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression, there is no fucking mindset in this football club.
and Peter B. Parker shows up. And now my son back with MJ and he has a daughter. But what is supposed to be a good time instantly turns bad because Miguel starts explaining to Miles about a canon event. Chapters that are part of every Spider story. It's like when child actors turn into junkies. It was always meant to happen. And it shows all of the Spider-Man canon events. And he explains to Miles how the story is supposed to go. That the captain in each Spider-Man story is supposed to die. But when that canon event is broken, it begins to turn into Rod Wave's stomach, a black hole. But Miles like,
stop. Why y'all, man? All right, leave Rod Wave out of this.
hold up, my dad is about to be captain. But Miguel looking at him like,
Fuck, man. I'm mad too.
straight up lying through his teeth. You know he does not care about Miles' father. And Miles starts getting visions of the future, seeing that the spot is the one that's going to cause his father's death. Miles asked them to send him home, but he ain't going for none of that.
What am I supposed to do? Just let him die?
Now that is insane. And as Miles is talking, he's
Nah, bro. This right here is why I love Miles. I see all y'all walking around me like this. I don't give a fuck about none of that, man. I'm going to say my dad.
starts getting surrounded by every spider person and he starts looking around like,
Oh, you motherfucker.
Fuckers.
Okay. All right, you think you can do this to me?
as he starts realizing they was setting him up. And he tells him that he can't ask him to not save his father. So he says, I'm not asking, and then locks my boy up. And with Miles being locked up right now, the only crime he has committed is having a loving relationship with his father. Niggas like me cannot relate. Being Spider-Man is the equivalent of being Blueface and Krishan Rock's son. Straight hard knock life. Obi comes in with the assist though, tells him to use his palm and shock the entire cage. So he does.
Yo, let's talk about Obi. Obi is the real MVP. Obi is that nigga.
And then everybody flying back. Pauses there for a second, realizing he not bro that be doing them AI moves on He's the real Miles, running away instantly as Miguel and all the Spider-Man run after him except Hobie. Bro quit on the spot, the definition of a real one. Meanwhile, Miguel is chasing down
Hope.
Miles and he's like, stop whatever you're doing and stop Spider-Man. And we
I
get
called him
this scene
Obi earlier.
right
My
here.
bad, y'all.
Ay, coño, Sector 4. So they turn around and look at Sector 4 and they like,
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
so he starts hearing Miguel call out to him and he turns around and Miles is on his back. And this is where we in for a show. Miles gets tackled, but he gets out of that.
Miles ain't
treating
about
these
that.
other
Let's
Spider-Man
get
like
it.
they baby food. He dodges 2 explosives and uses bro face as a launch pad, jumping off of it, but gets tackled by a spider cat as it's trying to rip my son Miles' face off. But Miles' face is more durable than Kim K's ass, so he grabs it, but it instantly shoots him in the face with a web, so he drops that hoe.
Yo, I forgot about this. Spider Cat shoots webs out of his mouth? I forgot.
That cat had Rod Wave dinner plate lives going. It's safe to say he's cooked, but Miles keeps moving, dodging that damn Spider Rex and literal hundreds of spider people. And keep in mind, this only his 3rd day out here. He doing this shit as a rookie, taking on these veteran Spider-Man. I looked at my uncle and then, let me guess, he died. As Miles and 30 other Spider-Man come crashing through. Miles blisters through this corridor, throwing us.
Bro, that nigga was going through real therapy. Well, not real therapy, because that Spider-Man therapist didn't give a fuck. Didn't seem like anyway. But y'all ruined this whole man vibe. He's trying to get shit off his chest.
Spider monkey off him. Meanwhile, the Spider-Man behind him moving like Sketch. Bro, get off of your knees. Miles dodges a bullet twice, making Bro in the back get shot, and then he jumps on a horse as they start to do a Mexican standoff. But Miles is just like this bitch right here. Skips the cow, webbing him in the face and takes his horse.
Yeah,
He
give me that
starts
horse.
moving though, catching up instantly, but a spider wolf jumps in next, and Miles pushes him down. All these
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen that. I've seen this movie a bunch, and I don't think I ever recognized there was a spider wolf in this shit.
weird ass spider organisms. It's clear to me they was out here hiring anybody. As
Oh.
Miles is looking back, running away, he turns around to see a demon in front of him. He weaves out the way, and while Miguel is chasing him down, webs up to cheese that high ground advantage. But when he gets to the top, he's surrounded by thousands of Spider-Man. Miguel pops up and look at bro. This nigga is a threat. Shoots his web, launching him at Miles. But Miles, thinking anything is better than an alternative, runs through a literal wall, jumping out of the building. So of course they all jump down, following after him. Meanwhile, Jessica is telling Gwen that the only way to save the world is for them to capture Miles, and tells her to deal with it. We cut back and Miguel is still full court pressing Miles, cutting his web, and while he's falling, Jessica comes in with the assist, kicking him in the stomach, but Gwen comes through, webs Miles, saving him from falling, but he looking up
Nah.
Man, you stupid bitch.
and rips the web off. My son Miles been listening to that Dr. Umar. He not fucking with the snow bunnies no more. Ben Riley comes through.
Yo, that's the moment right there. Like, the look on his face, you could tell, man. First of all, God damn, I can't even get it right. Let me get it right.
Miles, cutting his web, and while he's falling, Jessica comes in with the assist, kicking him in the stomach, but Gwen comes through, webs Miles, saving him from falling, but he
Look at this. It looked like she care. Looks like she does.
looking up like,
But my nigga knows she doesn't.
Stupid bitch.
and rips the
Yeah. Nah.
web off. My son Miles been listening to that Dr. Umar. He not fucking with the snow bunnies no more. Ben Riley comes through and he got my son in a damn noogie and talking shit while doing it. This is sick work. But Miles rips his explosives, making it go off, and starts running away again. But he's tied up, leaving a punch, sending them all crashing through an underground tunnel, making them lose track of Miles. But then he gets webbed up by Peter B. Parker, telling Miles that he had his daughter because of him. But Miles was like,
But anywho,
webs him up, breaks the vent, and then goes down and blasts through. Gwen throws Jessica up, and she goes to hit Miles, but he weaves. And bro, if she wasn't pregnant, I know Miles would have activated that Chris Breezy, beating the shit out of her. But still, he webs her motorcycle and kicks it out.
Bro, that's... Nah, man. We ain't activating that mode. That ain't happening.
Webbing her and throwing her at a truck. Bro, she's still pregnant. Relax. Meanwhile, Miguel on chase down again. Goes to hit Miles, but he weaves out the way, dodging all his attacks while talking shit. Being a Spider-Man villain gotta be the worst thing. Niggas be talking shit while whooping your ass. That is crazy. Webbing him in the face, grabbing hold of the ceiling and kicking him. But this nigga is a demon. Still manages to hang on, grabbing his arm, but he rips off his day pass instead. And because of that, Miles starts glitching again. But he manages to hold on, climbing climbing all the way up, but when he gets to the top, he falls down. But when he looks down, Miguel is ripping through the entire train and climbing up. And the entire time he's doing that, Miles is like, are those claws? Are you sure you even Spider-Man? So he took this as his chance to shit on Miles. Who do you really think you are? And then Miles starts having his lock-in moment, jumping off, kicking him, making him fall. But Miguel recovers, grabbing him with his web, and while he's flying in the air, Miles turns around and throws a web at his face. That shit in his jeans gotta be Roberto Clemente's son. Look at that stance. He rips off Miguel's web and falls back down, landing on a car. But Miguel moving like Brock, praying for Peter to die, coming out of nowhere, tackling him into a car. He goes for a punch, but it gets blocked, and this entire time he's telling Miles that he's an anomaly, slamming him down on the car, pressing my son. All of this because he's the original anomaly. I'm crying he out here treating Miles like people be treating mutants and X-Men. Niggas will see the Hulk and be like, oh.
That's true, bro. I obviously, you know, the mutants and the X-Men, like what they stand for, what Stan Lee was trying to do when he originally like came up with the X-Men, but damn, bro, they be treating niggas bad in X-Men.
Anomaly. I'm crying he out here treating Miles like people be treating mutants and X-Men. Niggas will see the Hulk and
that's
be
how
like,
the sign,
no,
hang the mutants.
Let's off the Wolverine or something. What did I do? The car gets hit, making Miguel fall, and when he catches onto the car, this lady gonna snitch on my boy. So Miles was like, so Miguel jumps up and grabs Miles' leg and throws him at a wall, telling him he's an anomaly anywhere he goes. That like Bronny James on a basketball court, he's out of place. Jumping in, and Miles hits him with the right and gives him a three-piece with the elbow, and then he just jumps out of there, weaving a slash. Miguel jumps up next, tackling Miles all the way down, but he catches himself before falling. And when he grabs back on, he tells Miles that he's the original anomaly, that he isn't supposed to be Spider-Man because the spider that gave him his powers wasn't from his dimension. And I just know the spider that gave our Miles powers was like,
Congratulations to the first artist that could have been. Yeah, man. This fuck nigga ain't had nothing. This fuck nigga was broke.
And he's saying this all while climbing up, and tells him he inadvertently got his Peter Parker killed just because he was Spider-Man. And I just know Miles was like,
I'm like, what did he say fuck me for?
Because the way Miles got bit, I could have sworn it was destiny. Shit was like Tyson at being 410. It was meant to happen. Miles shoots his webs at Miguel and he cussed him. Rushes in, grabs Miles, shoots his web, and then slams him on his back. All while telling Miles he's a mistake. Bro just trying to save his dad. What did he do? And then he gets all up in his face telling him this is all his fault. And then he says it.
You don't belong here. That's gotta be racist. There's no way.
And Miles finding out that everybody knew. My boy getting backdoor left and right. He don't know who to trust. Miguel still pressing him with that shitty ass breath. Calls him a kid, and we know Miles don't like this. That nobody must have changed his life. So he starts talking shit right back, telling him that he lured hundreds of spider people away and that this was all in his plan. Nigga think he Eisen and starts charging up his venom blast. And I was in the theaters like,
Oh my god, he's gonna say it. Oh my god, he's gonna say it!
Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go.
Nah.
I'm gonna do my own thing.
I'm gonna do what I'm talking
about. And blast his ass all the way back, making him fall all the way down. So Miles gets up and says goodbye to his snow bunny and falls away in the cleanest way, just letting the wind take him. But Miguel, being the demon he is, cannot let this slide, jumping all the way down and chasing after Miles. Meanwhile, Miles is already back at Spider Society, using his invisibility to sneak past Spider Bite and go back home. And just as he's about to get away, the demon comes crashing through the window, running after Miles. He jumps on a machine, hitting it, but like Tyler Hero punches, them shit's doing no damage. So he uses the claws, ripping.
Miguel is tweaking. Why he crashing out,
whether
bro?
he want to save the world or kill this man right now. And Miles is too. He in there looking shook. So he looks at Spider Bite, knowing she gonna fuck with the kid. As he smirks, puts on a shiesty and gets beamed up, going back to save his dad.
What I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Bro, I'm gonna say this right now. Miles Morales is one of my favorite versions of Spider-Man. This version that they created in the movies, one of my favorite versions of him. The Spider-Man from the 90s, top tier. And the animated Spider-Man from the 90s. And then, of course, I think you got to have Tobey Maguire up there because that's just like the classic. But Tom Holland is when we talk about live action Spider-Man, I got to give it to Tom Holland right now. Even in that movie, the most recent one, where all the Spider-Man kind of team up. I mean, I think it was Tom Holland. But that's it, y'all. Hey, thanks for watching all the way through. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and when you comment, just let me know if there's anything else that you think I should take a look at, should react to. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you.